want to live long and productive lives, but no one chooses to be lonely in their later years. Welcome to a typically blustery but unusually dry South Wales summer day. This film-based project is about much more than just cold statistics. It's about real people and real lives. It's about us treating people with care and respect. This film is all about encouraging older people in our communities to be the very best that they can be in their own circumstances. We will show you some people who have done some pretty outstanding and unusual things later in life. You will also see people who do what might be described as more ordinary things, but that most certainly does not make them any less important, less significant, or less of an achievement.
Yes, I am Vicky, and I am a crazy cat lady, and here's one of my little friends.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Dilys and I'm 86, and maybe you should know that I'm the oldest woman skydiver in the world, and I've got the Guinness Book of Records, and I got that when I was 81. So I'm a bit unusual in that I was still skydiving at the age of 85, and now I will only do tandems. I sold my parachute last year.
For 30 years I was a police officer with South Wales Police. I made that decision when I was 20 years of age. So being as I was a young man at the time, I made what I thought was probably the more serious, the more possibly boring option of the two. Because the alternative was to go to what was then quaintly called drama college. As it turned out, that decision was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
I got involved with this. I went to a show in Lanharry. It was a giant vegetable show, and I was very impressed with all the vegetables that were there. So I thought to myself, I'll try and do that myself.
When I was at college, I studied drama, and my dream was to be an actor, but this was back in the early 80s, and the opportunities were hard to come by then, so I had to get a proper job.
It's the Merge Community Wednesday Afternoon Club. I'm quite good. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I'm very good at organising things, raising money and getting people together.
So I went to the support group, Cold Smile, and after that then when I left, there was a couple of others that left as well, and they came to me and said, Janet, will you set up a group like? And I said, oh come on then, let's give it a go, isn't it?
I've travelled as far as Australia, and that was exceptionally nice, to Perth. I've been to India, I've been to America a couple of times, Florida mostly.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Touch Trust, which I founded after I'd retired. Now, I used to do a lot of dance work and movement with children with special needs. Some had sight impairment, hearing impairment, and different disabilities. But there was a group for whom we were not reaching, and they were the young people with profound and multiple disabilities and sometimes extreme autism. And I knew that we were failing them.
As it happens, I got to retire at 50 years of age with a full police pension, which turned out to be much the best option rather than me trying to pursue my dreams to become sort of megastar actor in Hollywood, etc, etc. It also meant that I had the security and had the circumstances whereby I could then pursue all my dreams and passions that I couldn't do when I was a younger man.
I had one of those moments in my life where you think, do I really want to be doing this until I retire? And the honest answer was no.
I entered the Royal Welsh Show. I've had a first prize up there for my carrots. The Vale of Glamorgan Show is another big show. I've had a lot of prizes there, but my most prizes I've ever won is at the Dinas Powys Village Show.
And so my programme is unique. It's still being taught all the way around the country. We've got about 1,000 adults and children who take part in this every week, and sometimes then that gives them the development to move into other sections and societies, which is wonderful.
I skied for 40 years, snow skiing, but I stopped last year. the signs were there.
We started off in the coach house, outside behind the old post office cafe. And members, they just started coming and coming and coming, and we've been going for 3 years now, and a second group has started up now. But I'm really passionate about mental health because of my son's suicide as well.
Well, it's a lot of friendship. A lot of the ladies are on their own and they don't go out very often. They're not able to go out walking on their own, so the community bus brings quite a few of them, and it's making friends and company for them.
It's just the like of doing it, and the pleasure of seeing different countries. And really, when you're on your own, people talk to you. People talk to you a lot.
I thought, what can I do to actually make my daydreams, if you like, come true? So I had a look at some acting classes, because that's what I am really. I'm a show-off. I like acting.
I feel really motivated because when I go to group on a Friday morning and on a Monday evening, I see where people, when they come to group, they come to see me, they talk to me. They often, when they first start group, come with their heads down, their shoulders off, like that. But then after a few weeks, they won't talk, and then they start talking.
I've been a presenter with a local radio station, Bro Radio, for the last 10 years. In actual fact, since Bro Radio started. Funny enough, going back 10 years ago.
You're listening to me, Nigel Streeter, on Bro Radio 98.1 FM. And after a few messages, we'll be going back to the decade that fashion forgot, the 1970s. And I know that's the case because I was there.
I am a lady of maturity, and because I'm no longer working, for all intents and purposes I am retired. I've now got the time and the opportunity to spend looking after cats. We've got 3 of our own, but they get the same treatment as anyone that come up here. And I love doing what I do. I just absolutely adore it.
And we have a sing-along like we did today. We have a big raffle and a quiz at the end of every month. We have people coming in giving talks.
My thoughts on people remaining active right into old age in their communities, it's my passion. I believe that people live until the day they die. I live until the day I die. Our bodies start to do less well, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a very positive attitude.
You've got to have a plan in your mind what you're going to do today. Easy to sit down and watch television, but put the television off and get outside, mostly, even if it's just a short walk, a long walk, a bit of gardening, clean the car. Have a plan each day and try and stick to it.
I think older people in the later years should get out, even if they have a little dog or something. They could take a walk. They could take a little walk instead of sitting in the house.
Later on, I went in to do some theatre stuff, and I've also written and produced 2 plays of my own.
I'm a film producer, director, occasional voiceover artist. I've been in plays on stage, and I've been in numerous films. And I'm one half of the Fritz Streets Films film partnership, and I'm also one of the founders of Film Focus Wales Community Voluntary Filmmakers Group.
I think there's a lot of people lonely and can't get out and do things themselves. And I think these sort of clubs are ideal for them.
And I feel it's like little buds. After week by week, you can start to see them opening and opening, and in the end, they're joining in, they're doing volunteer work, it's amazing. I just actually love seeing people go from that to up there.
My personal message is this: don't be afraid. I think in life it's easy to withdraw a little bit because of fear, to perhaps not do something that you want to do a little bit because you're afraid. Don't be afraid.
For some strange reason, I presumed that when I got to be an older man, I would feel somehow different. Well, I don't. I mean, physically, yes, you get the aches and pains, but in every other way, I feel exactly the same. I haven't changed as a person.
Just because you've got a diagnosis of mental illness, just because you've got a diagnosis of physical disabilities, doesn't mean that's the end. Get up and do something about it, and that's exactly what I did. And the motivation is, like I said, I like to see everybody smiling and coming through their worst times, I really do.
Well, it makes me happy to think that I'm helping other people older than myself. We've got a lady here who's 90 years of age, and if I can give them a lot of support, it makes me happy.
Remain connected with yourself, remain connected with other people. Ask for help if necessary, because that is something that helps each other. We like to help each other.
If you've got a passion, get out there and do something about it, because life is so good and you don't want to waste it.
You don't have to be the big stuff. You don't have to be a Tom Jones or a David Beckham. Get out there and do the things that you want to do.
This is Pro Radio Awards for
Volunteer of the Year, and winning this award has made me even more determined to keep going and get more groups set up.
I realise that I'm just as motivated now as I was when I was a younger man. In fact, even more so.
All my life, I daydreamed about being an actor. That was my thing. I realised that it is never too late and you're never too old to make your dreams come true.
When passion becomes an opportunity, grab it with both hands.
With age comes wisdom, and dreams can become the passions we pursue.
It's just in the heart, it really is in the heart. Even if I was 100 years of age, I think I'd still be doing this.
So, there you have it. You've now seen a selection of more mature people in our communities, our bolder olders as we call them, all of whom are doing their thing to make things happen in their own special ways. It's not all about doing the big stuff. It is all about the trying. It is all about personal achievement and about being the very best that you can be.
These are some of the things I'll be putting on the wall outside the pub on display for on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope there's no lip readers on here now,
Yeah.
because they'll be on there saying, what's she saying?
Yeah.
Keep that in mind,
Yeah.
We're both of an age now where we keep forgetting what it was.
You gotta refer to each other.
You realise I was just recording you then?
Oh,
It was so natural because you didn't think I was recording you.
No, I didn't, no.
Don't rush, because people, when I'm filming, they always talk too fast and always rush. It feels on the left. Right? So just look at me as I would have a normal conversation, ignore that as much as you can, right?
I will do.
Okay?
Are we filming?
You're not supposed to know. That's what I was going to say. Alright. He's already there. Hello, Dizzy.
Easy,
Surely the crazy cat lady.
Oh yes.
Don't we want to win now? Wind!
Camera rolling and action.
For 30 years I was a police officer with the South Wales Police. And
Cut.